Welcome to Life Together with Brodie. I am your host, Brodie Simmons. So here's how we're starting today. Today I'm going to start off with my mantra because this is a really important episode, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. But the mantra that I'm doing every morning for my Reset 360, today I choose to lead my life with strength, clarity, and purpose. I honor my body as the foundation of my mind, my emotions, and my spirit. Every choice I make today builds the strongest version of me. I'm resetting not because I'm broken, but because I am becoming. My energy is sustained, my mind is sharp, my heart is unbreakable, I am aligned, I am action, I am unstoppable. Peak Brodie is not a dream, it's a decision, and today I choose it again. I hope you do the same. You have peak you, and I hope you're making choices that are helping you reach the best version of yourself. Welcome to the show. Okay, so today I'm going to jump right into the meat and bones. Last night I had dinner with my dad, and it was awesome. Had a great time. Chatting, going over things. He mentioned to me that he listened to my podcast last week. So awesome. Really appreciated that. Gave me some great compliments. And I'm going to just keep those between him and I, but it was great. It was great to hear from a man that I admire. A really good compliment helped me feel really good about what I'm doing and the direction I'm going in and even how I'm doing it. So this is just a quick reminder that there are important people in your life. Make sure that we let them know that we're seeing what they're doing and that we're giving them compliments at what they're doing. Help them be encouraged to continue. So that's a fun little tidbit that I'll drop on you. But one of the other things that came up was he gave me a little feedback. And it was really just his perspective on something he wanted. He gave me the feedback that being open, transparent, and vulnerable in a podcast in a way that is public is not always easy, but it is also what a lot of people need. And last week I was definitely vulnerable, open, and transparent, but I mentioned having a pattern that I had to work on, that I had to recognize, see, and then make some adjustment. And he said, as you mentioned that, I was waiting to hear about the pattern. and I didn't really share about the pattern. So thank you, Dad, for giving me that little reminder that, there's some things I probably could explain a little more. And for the record, it's a little terrifying to do that. It's a little nerve-wracking. I'm uncomfortable right now. So if you can hang with me, that would be great. Either way, we're moving forward. And I'm going to talk about this pattern. It has to do with where I thought deep falling in love and being in love came from and how it worked, and the pattern of the choices and behaviors that I engaged in that kind of were not healthy and that created a lot of problems along the way in my relationships. And I've had to do a lot of kind of soul searching over the last while on my journey to better understand myself and really to better understand how I connect with others in a loving way. Now there's lots of types of love. I'm a parent. I love my kids. There's parental love of your kids. And that's great. We'll talk about that probably another time. Actually, I do want to spend a minute talking about just that human connection of love. How we have love for our fellow humans on this earth. And actually last Saturday, I was having lunch with a man I admire who's really awesome and great. And we're sitting down and we're on the patio, I'm facing kind of the restaurant, he's facing, the parking lot. And I hear big crash. He witnessed a car T-boning another vehicle that was pulling into the parking lot. It even hit the light post, and looked like a terrible accident, and it was. Both cars were, I'm assuming, absolutely totaled. But here's the part that that is, magical about humans is he jumped up. I turned around, noticed what was there. I jumped up, grabbed my phone. And within about 5, 6 seconds, there was a team of people over there helping. Because as humans, what do we know? We know that when there's a crisis and we're able to do something helpful, let's go do it. Let's go help each other. We're able to help that situation, help those people who are involved in this car collision get support, get comfort while we're waiting for, obviously, like the first responders to show up. And quick shout out to first responders who were there super quick. And it was, but in a tragic situation that we certainly don't want to have happen, it was, to me, very beautiful to see all these people come and support and come in for the moment, give a lot of love and care to people that they didn't know. And I think that there's a lot we can do around that. So certainly encourage that. And that's human connection. That's our human love that we have for each other. It's freaking awesome. Well, there's also other types of love. And I'm someone who's always wanted to have that deep love. I think that's a pretty common thing. And I know that, and I'm going to say this way, I know that there are a lot of people, and I see and work with a lot of men, so I know there's a lot of men who struggle with how to develop a deeper sense of love for yourself, and certainly within your romantic relationships, your partner relationships. And that's the pattern that I didn't have very well straightened out. And the pattern looks like this. I, when I was younger, was basically taught, somehow created the belief that deeper love, falling in love, being in love with a romantic partner, came from being physically intimate with that person and connecting in that way. And there's a real power that comes from our sexual physical intimacy with another person. And my habits created the pattern and the beliefs that I need to connect with someone in that way relatively soon, and then it will evolve and grow into a deeper love. Now, if you're in this space, that might make sense to you. If you're not, and you understand where I'm going to go with this, then you're like, oh, that's a less mature, a less elevated way of thinking about how we fall in love. And it didn't work out for me. So that was definitely my pattern. It began early in my teenage years, and it progressed, and it blinded me to having healthy boundaries in relationship. It also blinded me to being more honest with myself about how I actually felt. And that creates a lot of damage in the wake. You can ask both my ex-wives, who we have to repair. I've had to repair an enormous amount of damage that is caused by this pattern. And for me, it was also reinforced. And so I'm going to, speak to women only for a moment that there is no fault here. This is just, we want to break this pattern. I want to help everyone understand that that's not where deeper love comes from. That is where a deep connection can happen. But deeper love, I'm learning, comes from getting to know and understand on a deeper level myself and someone else, being able to accept myself and someone else. And the physical connection part will eventually come. But if that's rushed, for me, it completely disrupted that pattern of really finding a deeper connection. And after my second divorce, I was with a person who we both, I think, were in a similar type place where we were looking for something, we wanted that, and we connected quickly. In this pattern came through again, and we connected quickly in the physical way, and that really blinded me to the practical aspects of our relationship and not attending to those. And what I mean is I didn't attend to healthier boundaries, didn't attend to a process of getting to know this person, and so I wasn't actually able to have a practical approach to how would we do life together? How would we navigate kids? How would we, all the practical things to being really close and with someone and having a life partner, those were on the back burner. And they were like, oh, we'll take care of that later because this is so good. And it felt great. I felt spiritually, intellectually, and emotionally connected and physically connected with this person. But because it blinded me to these other aspects of my life that I was just ignoring, it came crashing down. And then I had to rebuild. And I spent time talking about that last week. I'm not going to talk about that process again. But what I am going to say is I'm currently in the space where I'm aware that that's my pattern. That's my shadow. The part of me that just wants to quickly connect because I so desperately wanted to have a deeper sense of love. And that's not how it works. It's a lonely space. And what I'm learning is how to, and I guess I'll say it like this, what I want moving forward. So I'm a single guy, and I'm working on myself, and I'm also learning that there's those practical boundaries, that those parts that are important to my life, my practical life. I've got kids, I have obligations and responsibilities, so do other people. That when I meet someone and I start connecting with them, that part of me that says, hey, remember how awesome this connection can be when you get to this physical space, let's hurry up and get there. I gotta pump the brakes, and I gotta make sure that I'm getting to know someone, that I'm building a friendship, that I'm building an understanding, and that I'm also taking care of myself so that I can have that process go at the pace that it needs to go, and not at the pace that my mind, that ego Brodie wants it to go. I gotta put that in check. And I gotta protect myself from repeating this pattern. I gotta protect the other person because I know that when I repeat this pattern, it won't work out and it's going to cause harm and hurt and pain to myself and the other person. And I actually don't have any interest in causing harm or pain to someone else. I want to be love. And I want to love people. And when I find that person who is first, I get to know and discover that they're a good fit for me in all those areas, spiritually aligned, intellectually aligned. I like to have a fun time, so they better be aligned with wanting to go out and have a good time. And I mean just random dance parties in the kitchen, whatever it is you got to do. I like to have fun. I like to goof off. I like to have an accent at the grocery store just because I think it's funny. These are the things that if you hang out with me, you're going to experience. I'm a freaking goofball, and I'm having it, and it's the best part of me. And I don't want to pretend to be anything other than I am. And if I meet someone and they accept me, and I can accept them, then we can grow, and we can evolve and move towards more intimacy. And then that can grow into a deeper love. And that's what I want. I'm not desperate for it. If you're someone who's desperate for that, we tend to blind ourselves to what's going on. And so that's the pattern. So that's the pattern. And that's what I'm working on. And I'm pumping the brakes. And I'm just taking care of myself. And I'm making sure that as I move forward as a single man, that I'm being very honorable to myself and other people. And it is not easy. And I'm not perfect. And I still don't do things great. And I got to recognize that as much as I can so that I can make adjustment as I go. And if you're with me still, thanks for listening. This is my 20-minute, got to get this part out, got to talk about this pattern. I know there are plenty of people out there who are looking for a deeper connection and who believe that we can get it quickly through sex and through connecting with someone in that way. That's why the porn industry is so huge. So women, let's make sure and have healthy boundaries. Men, let's make sure and have healthy boundaries. Let's pause and not be so desperate to connect that we have no healthy approach to it. It's a process. And wherever you are in that process is fine. But be honest with where you're at in that process and what you're actually trying to achieve. I want to have a great, loving, deep relationship with someone who I honor and respect and who I understand and who they understand me, and we accept each other, and it's magical. That's what I want. I'm not desperate for that anymore. And I hope if you're in the space where you want the same thing, or even if you're in that, if you're in a marriage or a long-term relationship and it's not that, take an evaluation. Where are you in that relationship? What do you need to do to cultivate that deeper sense of love? Talk this over with your partner. It is so important. Explain this process to your kids. Not kids, but as they get older, appropriate to their developmental age. But certainly your teenagers. They got to understand that we get a lot of support from each other and a lot of love from each other, and their hormones are raging. And that real love and support isn't just physical intimacy. That is something that can help and grow a really good loving connection, or it can undercut it and totally mess it up and blind you to the things that actually are healthy and good for you. So I hope this message resonates with you. Again, if you stuck it out with me till the end, I certainly appreciate it. This was not an easy podcast for me to do. That's my pattern. That's what I'm working on. Incidentally, my dad also said I probably should improve my language and not curse as much. I'm going to do my fucking best, but sometimes it's what it is. I hope you have a lovely day. As another human to human, I freaking love you. I really do. And I hope that you love yourself, that you connect with other people, and that if you have someone in your life, or that if you want someone in your life in a deeper, loving way, that you really take the time to go at a good pace and to not rush that, to let it happen in an organic way and in a healthy way. And if you need help with that, that you seek out help with that. Because messing that up is a lot of emotional damage. And it takes a lot to repair. So thank you, as always, for doing some life together. And I wish you nothing but a great, beautiful day.